Hello Space Engineers, welcome back to Hephaestus Prime and welcome back to Treasure Island. Today making a concerted effort to get some of this stuff back to the main base. So it's not long ago that I finished off the last episode. I pretty much have worked straight through, just sort of published that and we're straight back into it. Now what am I up to here? I'm putting down these blocks to form a bit of a funnel or a bit of a silo and going to a collector down the bottom with the intention of grinding down this pirate base, former pirate base, just using the hand grinder because that's quicker than the sort of vehicle mounted ones. Use a hand grinder to chop it all down and just let all the components sort of cascade out below me, and this will capture them all. I'll no doubt have that annoying lady saying inventory full all the time. But as I sort of persevere with this, I'm just not really sure. It's not really working as well as I envisioned in regards to getting the angles right and that sort of thing. So I'll persevere with it a bit longer, but I'm quite rapidly getting sort of sick of the idea. I'm just wondering if it's going to be worth the work. The thing is, this staircase here is kind of one of the reasons I'm doing it, because the glass components that it contains, I only have to grind down a few windows and it just fills up my inventory real quick. And there are some heavy armor blocks in amongst the supports for this, which again, just one block sort of by itself fills up the inventory. So potentially I might have to look at some sort of grinding vehicle, but they have their own problems. So I'm in a bit of a bind really as to what to do, but we'll just continue with this for a little bit, and I'll have to go and check out, see if that grapefruit's arrived at the other end too. But certainly as the sun comes up, it's only just nightfall's only just struck, but when the sun does come up in the morning, we will head off, get a load on the flyer, and what I'll do is I'm going to add a bit of extra storage capacity to the flyer, load it up and fly it back to the main base, which I will finish plumbing up that connector system, conveyor system to the drill. I have just got it idling at the moment. It's just about reached the position to put a connector in so I can fill it up from those new cargo containers that are built into the platform. But anyway, I shall keep going with this and sort out the grapefruit and start to grind down some stuff. Okay, that grapefruit's just come back into range again. And judging by that thump, I would say it's landed. Let's just go and have a look. Yep, there it is. So this is actually the second trip back. It's already been back once. Ooh, that was quite a bright bolt of lightning there. It's already made a trip that I'll edit out because it's been a long night already, and I really just don't think I've actually achieved much. Although in saying that, just having this grapefruit going back and forth is doing something, and I'm getting better at loading it up and getting it on its way nice and quick. Now it is able to take nothing but steel, but I figure that if I just load it up with some stuff that's got a bit more volume and a bit lighter in mass, and then finish it off with the steel plates, it just doesn't put the batteries and engines under so much pressure when it's flying back by itself. So I tend just to put on a few grids and missiles and stuff, and so you don't want a horrendously overloaded craft going back full of steel, and then later on, once all the steel's back, have a lightweight craft going back with a few components in it. So best spread the load out, which is why I haven't got automatic sorters working on it to fill it. They wouldn't be able to figure that out. Power wise, it's those reactors are keeping up actually. I didn't think that they would, but I guess when it's cruising it's just not using much, and it must be have a bit of a gain. 4 was quite a few to put on there, but it's done now. So, and relaunching it is just a case of putting the return autopilot on and hitting the launch button, and away it goes. Gone. Zoom. So now I don't have to worry about that for a while. Alright, so now getting back to this. Yeah, it's just not really turning out how I thought it would. See, I've got the slope, but I still haven't got a funnel at the bottom. I'm either going to have to put a whole row of collectors across the bottom, or dig a hole, or... I don't know. It's just not really turning out the way that I planned. So even looking at the angles, that if I keep this angle going back, this slope, it's not even going to pick up a lot of those underneath there. Nah, I think I'm going to pull the pin on this. I think it's just not working the way I intended it to. Yeah, I'm just going to have to build some sort of grinding machine, or just use the hand grinder that is, and put it back in the container. I mean, I'm going to have plenty of time as that grapefruit goes back and forth, and I'm going to have to come up with some other system to get bulk loads back. I mean, even though that grapefruit's alright, it's not doing an awful lot. It's good just to tick away in the background, but yeah. No, decision made. We'll get on with adding a container onto the back of this flyer, I think.
Inventory full.
Okay, I'll start with the stuff that's in my inventory to add a large container on the back of this. So I have to use a couple of connectors and make a new connection point. I think that might stick out a bit. Yeah, I'll move this and I'll put a new connection point in. Just slide it across the deck a little bit so it's away from that upright. Oh, the winglets are in the way. Oh gosh, another one. I like those winglets, but they do get in the way a bit when I'm trying to get around the flyer, especially on the beast. I actually had to move the deck, one of the access things on the deck, because it was just completely in the wrong place. But anyway, I digress. So to connect this large container on the back, you're going to use just some blocks along the side, and then I will use a connector to connect it, and I'll put a connector on the bottom as well. If I don't weld it on using the armor blocks, then the extra thrusters that I'm going to put on it won't work from the cockpit. So I either need to use a merge block, which there's no room for, or just hard weld it in. Nice and convenient, that connector there. Right, I'll just weld these up. Don't have to, but yeah, make it look nice. And then I'm going to put a large container on the back. Now, as I said before, I'm going to have some sort of separate engines for it too, and we'll just need to get the orientation right on it, because these are a bit odd, these containers. They've got sort of just the layout of them, of where the large conveyor connections are and where the small ones are. And I should really get the connector happening straight away as well with the battery on, so I can charge the battery. Yeah. So I'm going to put one underneath, and I'm pretty sure it's at the right height already, so it should fit. I think there's a gap for our two connectors, 2 blocks under there. It's kind of hard to see if it's lined up. Ooh, I'm sure. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's added, and I'll just pop. Would be good to put a large. Oh, they are quite large, aren't they? Those thrusters. They're a lot more powerful than the small ones, but I think I'll just go with a bank of small ones. But already my thoughts are actually turning to how I can kind of develop this into a vehicle. This kind of... I know there's like drop pods and stuff you can do, but whether there's a modular vehicle that I could maybe put together, it's something I am quite keen on doing. Kind of in the vein of Thunderbirds, like Thunderbird 2. It's got the different vehicles in the back of it. I do want to kind of have multi-purpose ships, because otherwise you end up just building a cockpit and putting the batteries and stuff like that, so it would be good to be able to share that sort of stuff. And yeah, I'm kind of thinking along the lines of that one that's in the new Subnautica below zero, where you can have the different modules to connect up and it'll end up looking like a centipede. Yeah, I think that could work. I think I might develop that idea, because sometimes it is hard to justify like making a purely grind vehicle or a purely drill vehicle, even though you might only use them once or twice. Something to ponder on, I think. Anywho, I shall get this connector put in and these thrusters finished off. I've put that conveyor system in and I've just locked into it, and I forgot to put the battery on. So the whole idea of putting that conveyor system was so I could put a battery in. But while I'm here, I might just jump into the main base, and I'm glad I put this camera in because I can see that the grapefruit is there all nice and safe and sound. So we'll jump into its inventory, which that's not it. Try again. There we go. And I'll just chuck these into one of the containers that's here and just rearrange things a bit, and we'll send it on its merry way back to the treasure island. Alright, back into the rain. Gosh, how was the weather so much better over there? Alright, I'll finish these things off, and then we'll load up and we'll head back.
Inventory full.
So I think it's still just a little bit dark to be flying back. I did want to wait till morning. So I've just been breaking down some of the base, salvaging it while I've got the time, and I'm just waiting for that grapefruit to come back, so I will reload that and resend it. Now, once these GPS coordinates, these waypoints are actually in a remote control, you don't need to keep them. You can delete them out of your own sort of system and they will stay in there. They are attached to the remote, and I can't see myself using those same coordinates for another aircraft. I can always relay them or copy them. So I'm just clearing out the inside, and I'll get rid of this platform on the other side too. I've done some more loads of salvage, and I was just coming back to the deck because the grapefruit's on final approach, and for the second time, assuming I haven't lost count, I forgot to put the battery on. The first thing I need to do, the whole reason I put in a conveyor system, the whole thing I linked it up nice and early was so I could put a battery on and charge it, and I forgot. So I've got a couple of these assemblers in the space which I took ownership of, and I'll just produce some of these batteries, which I think I'm going to have to break down because I need some silicon. I have to break down some glass, I think would be the thing to do. So I've got this other assembler already breaking down the ammunition because I don't need any more ammunition. So I figure I'd best break it down and then I can take it back to the main base as ingots. I've already had the assembler on the beast going for quite some time, breaking down ammunition and other things to create ingots that were, I just had far too many of the things. And this doesn't seem to be working. I'll have to figure that out. Okay, some time later, I've done all the power cells, and this battery's not in the middle, but oh well, it's too late now. It turns out that A, I didn't turn on the assembler, and B, the assembler that I chose to make the power cells was not connected to the conveyor system. So once I rectified that and used a different assembler, I was hunky-dory. In the meantime, I have sent the grapefruit back again with another load. It hasn't turned up at the base yet, so it can't be far away. And yeah, we'll just keep breaking down this base, and then we'll hit the road? No, we'll hit the skies and we'll head back to the main base.
Inventory full.
Rather gingerly coming in for a final approach here. I'm pretty loaded up. Didn't really have enough engines on the extra container, so I tried filling it up with a whole heap of stuff and had to lighten the load a few times. So I put in some less dense products and actually just lost a little bit of volume as well, but still have heaps in here. Sun is just coming up, so it's a good time to get back. And I was able to get the grapefruit to do a return trip while I was in transit. I was able to connect into that and get that going again. So I made a little bit of a dent on grinding down the pirate base, Treasure Island. I think that's going to have to be the way to go. Although I do want to develop that idea a bit more of the modular vehicle. So that might be a task for the near future. First things first, want to get this thing docked and then sort out the drill, get it connected up to the conveyor system that I've got in, and load it up with some more steel and get it going, because it's almost into the hill. We're just sort of going up this gully to start with, and yeah, once it gets sort of underground, that'll allow me to do a few more things. Right, touchdown there. And I'll just jump in and I'll lock this thing down and turn everything off. First things first, just need to figure out where I'm putting the connector. Well, actually, I think I know where I'm putting the connector. It's just going to be confirming it. Which is, yep, just in front of that, in between the two landing gears there at the front side. Yeah, these lights, I've got them every 6 blocks. And then every 4 lights, there's a connector, so 24 blocks apart. So I'll just get these lights set. I'm just keeping them on sort of 5 points of brightness, but I'm just changing the radius of them. And I will take them out of the terminal so they don't clog up my list in there. Right, so that's them all good. Now I'll make a hole for the connector and I'll have to just drop below and sort out the conveyor system, which I think I've got most of it laid out. Yeah, just gonna be a block short there. And no materials. Alright, I'll go and sort that out and we'll plumb this in. Same connection as last time, got a spare container underneath there and got the connector here. So I'll just rename that. I think I am getting better at naming stuff as I go along. It certainly is a lot easier if you do it while you make it, rather than decide that you need it later on when you've got a million things the same name and trying to sort them out. Take those out of the terminal so they don't add to the list. That's the other thing I've found quite useful, is just to take the stuff off the terminal list that I don't need. Next step will be making sure it's not on the group list, not the group list, the timer type list, toolbar config list. Took a little while to find that last one, but found it. S for small. Okay, right, we'll get this moving again, because I do have the piston switched off so that it's not progressing. I just didn't want it to run out of iron while I was away. Once I get this connection up, that won't be a problem. Actually, just while I'm in here, I'll see if that grapefruit's arrived over the other side. Yep, it has. Alright, I'll sort out another load for that and get that coming back. Next plan. Well, I say plan, it's all on the fly. I'm not really figuring it out beforehand, I'm doing it as I go. Got the sorter in here, and I'm going to set this to pull the steel through. So, on the rare occasion that this is connected to the conveyor system, I'll get it to pull through as much steel as it can. Now I can just alter the existing timers for the pushing and pulling of the piston to also unlock and lock the connector, which it's only going to be successful 1 out of every 24 times, but I guess don't want to miss the opportunity once that every 24th time does come, because it's a long way to wait for the next one. And I'm not really sure how to reverse this drill. I've added the new connector into the timer system, so I'm just sort of waiting for that to cycle through. I reckon we're about 6 minutes through the 8-minute cycle. Just in the meantime, I'm tidying up these edges, getting rid of these overhangs. Don't really need them for the entrance to the base. Once it sort of reaches the hill proper and goes completely subterranean, then I won't be doing this, but just until we get that sort of formal entrance, I'll keep chiseling away at this. Ideally, I actually want a vehicle with drills on to do this, because it is quite hard to get it straight and get rid of the sort of lumps. Oh, look who's back. Grapefruit. We're going to sort that out. Quickly do that just before I have to sort out that connector. That should just work automatically. The drill's just triggered its cycle, so hopefully we should be sort of all good to go at this stage. So that should be locked in and we should be filling up. Doesn't seem to be filling up. Yeah, that's locked. It's green light. It's not loading up. Why is it not working? I mean, that's got a green connection. It should just be sucking it in. Alright. I shall investigate that. I might just have to pause that retract, which means I have about an 8-minute deadline to sort it out. So I've checked all the settings and everything. There's nothing obvious why it's not working. So I'll check the... Oh, okay. Well, there's the problem. The conveyor's not connected. We've got yellow lights. So there must be one that's not complete. Or a whole section that's not complete. Right. I'll sort that out and we'll get that fixed. I'll just check if there's any interior plates in here. Don't know if I brought any back. Nope. Alright, we're going to get them out of the beast. I can't believe that I missed that. Well, actually I can. I know exactly what had happened. I would have thought, oh no, I'll come back and do that. I won't forget. And I forgot. Like that battery that took me 3 goes to get it on. Green lights. Marvellous. Okay. Let's have another go and see how this is working there. Now we're filling up. 2, 8, 4, 5. Yep, sweet. Marvellous. Works. Right. Turn this piston back on. Right, so a little bit of time left in the episode, so I thought I might take these 2 lots of components over to the trading post. They've been rattling around in my inventory for a while. I thought that the trading post was kind of on the way to Treasure Island, but it's kind of in the opposite direction. So I thought I might just take the buggy out for a spin, because I haven't been out in this for quite some time, so good chance to shoot over there. See if I can pick up any uranium or anything like that. Maybe there's some other contracts to get. And we'll have a bit of a chat about what I'm going to do in the next episode or 2. So there's touchdown. We can release out of there. And we're not really moving that well. Ugh, this feels horrible. The handling is absolutely appalling. I've never driven this buggy on sort of steel plate. I'm going to have to do a 3-point turn. I should be able to get around there. Don't like that much at all. Must be something to do with the settings and... Anyway, it'll come right when I get off onto some natural ground. So plan for the rest of this episode is of course to go to the trading post. Then after that, once I've signed off, I think I will continue on. Maybe make another trip back over to Treasure Island with the extended pod on the back with the larger cargo on the back of the flyer. And get another load there and just, I'll have a chance to do a few more relays of the grapefruit. And just have a chance, now that it's been topped up with steel, a bit more of a chance for the tunnel machine, the drill, to continue on into the hillside. Also just extend those conveyors that are underneath the platform and sort out the inventory that's all come back. But for now we'll get these tunes pumping and get over to the trading post. So here we are, we'll hand in these acquisition contracts. I can't even remember when I sort of got these out. Might have been a couple of episodes ago. Seems like I have had them sort of rattling around for a long time. So good to get them cashed in, and 90 odd K is nothing to sneeze at, especially for, you know, something pretty simple like canvases. So we'll sign up for some other ones while we're here. Those radio components should be pretty easy, as will the solar cells. So we'll do those ones. What else we got? Oh, I'm not doing bottles again, and I'm not giving that up. Yep, that should be pretty straightforward. It's a bit far away. Do I want to give up my iron? Yeah, it's not much, so that's cool. I don't think I've got any nickel. I'll just hold on to my steel for now. Too heavy. Not giving that up. That's pretty close. Can I be bothered doing one of those at the moment? Nah. And hydrogen bottles, no. Alright, so that's us. Just see if there's anything on the shop while we're here. Maybe some uraniums, maybe? No. Alright, we'll head back to the base then. You have to cross this nasty little dip here, which I keep forgetting about. I think it's sort of flat to come over here, but there is this nasty little dip in between. This sort of space pirate coming over the horizon. The beast did actually struggle a little bit getting up the other side of it, but the buggy seems to handle it. Just seeing that space pirate did remind me I have actually turned down the spawn frequency on both the ground occupation and the atmospheric encounters, or whatever it's called, so they're not spawning so often. I don't really have any intentions of having a go at one of those ships at the moment, because I'm still dealing with Treasure Island and I've got more than enough stuff coming through there, and I'm almost of the mindset to actually turn the mod off. It's not that I don't like the mod, it's just that it kind of takes a little bit away from the whole scavenging and mining and getting resources that way. I've really got no immediate plans to have to mine and dig and refine, because I've just got more than enough stuff coming out of these pirate bases. You know, admittedly that Treasure Island base was a bit of a fluke or a lucky score, and the ground occupation, those bases are nowhere near as large, but that's my sort of thoughts on that. So I have turned down the ground occupation one. There are actually a couple just beyond the trading post. They do sort of sometimes come into view, so we'll have a look at going for one of those maybe in the next few episodes, but as I say, I really got to just deal with Treasure Island first. So I'll continue on having a bit of a play tonight and get some resources and stuff and just work on it, because I haven't really got a solid plan for next episode. Sort of depends how I go with digging through the hill. I need to organise some power supplies and that sort of thing, but I really want to have some rooms branching off the internal subterranean tunnel entrance, so if we're not under the mountain then I can't really do that. And yeah, I just have to have a bit more think about this modular ship that I want to do. That's an idea that's just rattling around in my head at the moment, and I think has quite a bit of potential. This sign up here that I've used for a few of my intros, I've decided that I'm just going to plonk it there and keep it there. So it is pasted in creative mode. I don't build it every time. It's not 100% survival, but 99% survival this game. And of course the bright red one at the end is also the other one that I paste quite frequently. Speaking of which, it's just coming into view now, so you know what that means. Thanks everybody for watching. I really did hope you enjoyed today. It was a bit of an interesting day. Sort of didn't feel like I got a lot done, but did get a lot done. Sometimes we just need to do some haulage, some boring haulage, and that's what we did. So yeah, as I said, thanks everybody for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope to see you next time, and stay safe out there. Have a good one.